Hello friends. I am having some thoughts and I don't want to write them, so I'm gonna ramble in a video. Maybe I'll write something later. So I just read Liz Plank writing about the big beautiful bill cutting SNAP benefits, and read a lot of people writing about how many Americans are gonna lose health care because of the Medicaid work requirements, which don't save money and solve a problem that is like 3% of recipients can work but don't long term. So that's that. But it reminded me, Liz Plank was making the argument that the fat cats in Washington are cutting these programs because they don't think they'll ever need them. And I think that's true as far as it goes, but it reminds me of something I read today from Matt Iglesias about how the median American is richer than the median European. Certainly the top Americans in terms of income are richer than the top Europeans, I think excluding Switzerland or something. But the bottom 10% of Americans are poorer than the bottom 10% of Europeans, which seems absolutely correct to me. But I think when you say the bottom 10% are poorer, that really obscures a lot of the experience of poverty in America, because it's not just that you don't have stuff in America when you're poor, it's that it's really hard to get stuff because being poor here is really expensive. So that's exhausting and demoralizing. When you don't have enough of things that you need, it actually makes your brain work worse, which in and of itself makes it hard to get out of poverty. But then we have all these poverty traps set up that make it even more difficult. But then there's the safety aspect of it's really easy in America to go to jail for being poor. I mean, just as like one tiny, not a tiny example, but like one example of many, is in the vast majority of places where you can live in America, you have to have a car to have a job. And every place in America to have a car, you have to pay for licensure, registration, in addition to how expensive it is to just own a car by default. And then people who are poor get pulled over more often. Police departments in many places in America use traffic enforcement as revenue generation. If you can't pay for licensure, registration, these fines and tickets, then you get arrested, you go to jail. If you're driving and you haven't paid for the privilege of driving. And when you go to jail, you usually lose your job because you're not showing up to work. And our jails are often, in Alabama, for example, our jails the conditions are worse than your average developing nation. You will get beaten up, raped. They're not air conditioned or heated properly. Sanitation is a problem. The people die in them because they aren't given access to medical treatment. So I don't think this is disconnected from the fact that the United States has a really high suicide rate. And I think the fact that a lot of people, especially men, when they encounter a hiccup, they just kill themselves. They don't believe that the social safety net, SNAP, Medicaid, yada yada, which, by the way, the vast majority of public benefits go to women, not men. Yeah, I mean, the safety net is not a safety net. We have programs and they are very helpful and we should protect them and expand them. But people in the United States who are not in the top half are not safe. And I think this makes it easier to not protect these programs because it's hard to go to bat for a safety net that you don't believe will catch you. So, I don't know. I think we need to recognize that when you poll working class Americans, they're not in favor of new programs or expanding existing programs, and they're killing themselves. I don't think that those facts are unrelated. So it's not a winning message to talk about new programs or expanding programs the way that they're being done now. We have to offer them something better. Safety, opportunity for a better life.